So we're just gonna open one of the samples. So in this case, so go to File. Uh,
You guys.
can you guys see? So you click on File, you click on Open Samples, then look for the leaf. Oh, can you guys see it?
Yeah, I have the leaf.
Yeah. Then you open it.
Yeah, it's leaf JPEG.
Yes, it's the leaf JPEG. So you guys can actually manipulate the window if you want. You can enlarge it or you can zoom into it. So find glass. So click here if you want to zoom it and so on. Let me just arrange this. So now that you have your picture or your uh, sample of your a picture of your sample, the first thing that we're going to do is to set the scale. So you do this by first clicking here on the line icon. And then trying as much as you can na trying your best to make it as accurate as possible. So this is a click and drag, not click and click na ano. So make it as straight as possible and making sure it's as accurate as possible. So here I'm trying to put it in the middle of the lines, of the ruling lines, a bit of 9 and 10. Okay. Then after you've set up your if after you've placed your scale, you go to analyze the tab here. Then you look for set scale. And a dialog should show where it says distance in pixels, known distance, pixel aspect ratio, and unit of length. So, so this is the distance in pixels. So it's roughly 59 point something. You don't actually touch this. The only thing that you actually change is the known distance. So since this is 9 cm and 10 cm, how many mm's, how many millimeters do we have in 1 cm?
1,000 or 100?
10.
Huh?
Ano yung tanong?
How many millimeters do we have in 1 centimeter?
10.
10, di ba? Good. So
Yes.
ayun na. May
Wala,
line na nga.
sorry.
Oh, may line na nga dito. Gulto sa 1,000. My God. So it's you just actually set it to 10 because we know that this is 10 millimeters, 10 mm. And you can change the unit here into mm. Clear? Kita? Is there something you want to clarify? Okay, wala. Okay. So we click OK after you've set the scale. Now that we've set the scale, it's time to measure this thing up. So again,
Wait,
just ano,
which was the set scale again?
in analyze, set scale.
How much did you get, Kuya?
So,
59?
uh,
Okay, okay.
so yeah, one problem with ImageJ is that it's very dependent on your error, on human error. So the best thing to do here is to make sure that you're doing your own measurements and you're not doing measurements as a team. Because, for example, I have a scale here of ay, don't say set scale. So, for example, here Uh, the line that I put here is in 59.3343. But Iago might get something around 61, or let's say Dylan gets something around 58. So it varies.
59.75 I
Oh,
think.
di ba? So there's a little bit of error between two people reading the scale. So, but it's in terms of statistics, you make sure that your error is constant. Okay, so at least you're making sure that you're measuring it your way and I'm measuring it my way, and there might be some discrepancies, but it's going to be very small. So that's the idea here. Okay, so after that, set the scale. So this is the known distance. Okay, we know that this is uh, 10 millimeters. Then we change the unit into millimeters, and we press OK. On a side note, if you are using this is where the tripod and scale come into play, and making sure that you have a constant distance between your camera and your specimen. You see this little option here that says global. If you click on it, it means that for the succeeding photographs that you took, this is the scale that you already have. Okay. So for example, this is leaf number one, leaf number two, leaf number three, leaf number four, and five. But so you have five specimens, but you took the photos at constant distance. You took the photos of the leaves with a constant distance from the camera. So yung distance between the specimen and the camera is the same all throughout those five photographs. So you can just click on the global para for the leaf number two, you don't have to set the scale again. Clear?
So this is just for practice.
Yes, this is
Like the
just
leaf.
for your leaf.
No
This is
shit,
just for
Sherlock.
practice.
So as long as your tripod setup is consistent, then you just take one first photo for scale, and then you do use ImageJ, and then every other photo won't need a scale anymore as long as your tripod's consistent height,
Yes,
right?
that's the
Okay.
idea. But again, if you're taking photographs, especially if you were in Ma'am Nida's class, and are you guys done with land physiology? Your first,
Nope.
nope. So yun, make sure if you're not done with Ma'am Nida's plant physiology, make sure that when you're taking photos, there's always a scale. Kay makasabaan jud mo ana. As in.
She won't accept ImageJ.
She will accept ImageJ, but she wants a photo with a scale. That's all she wants.
Like
She
at
wants some
least one or all of them.
all of them. She wants
Oh,
something like this. She wants something like this photo right here.
okay, okay.
Okay. So now we have set the scale on picture number one. And since this is a global, we set it to global, we won't need to set the scale again for pictures number two up to infinity. Because yun nga, if the tripod height is consistent, it's fine. So now we measure. So there are actually different, if you right click here, there are actually different options. So segmented lines, if you want to put a curve, if you want, if you're going to curve it, if you're measuring a curve rather, or you just click a straight line if you're just measuring one straight line. So for this exercise, we'll just stick with straight line. Okay. So you can zoom in. Again, image quality here is important if you're using a GoPro. The GoPros, yung GoPro 1, 2, were really bad for this. But if you have a GoPro 7 or higher, may 8 na nga ata ngayon, it's going to give you a very decent image quality, and it's not going to be pixelated as hell like this. So we're going to measure. We're going to measure the entire leaf lang. So not including the stem. So I just want to put a line here. Oh, that's acceptable. Okay. Then just drag it. over here, and there. So double check, just zoom in, make sure that. So I'm just gonna use this as a point of uh, just to say that that's the end of the leaf, and this is the start. This is relatively on the tip. So, then there we have it. So may line ka na. So after you've put in the line, you click on Analyze again, then Measure, or the shortcut Control M. And once you click it, it's going to give you the length,
The units. Okay.
the units. So again, remember we set it in mm. So this is in mm. So the leaf is approximately 61.44, I rounded up, millimeters. Clear? Questions?
None.